future ready FMCG. So how the organizations where they are today, the legacy companies, how can they be future ready, or even the startups, D2C companies, how they can position themselves in terms of growth, in terms of finances, in terms of supply chains. So it will be a mixed panel. So our panelist would be Sumit Agarwal, who is co-founder at Entrico. Then we have with us Gyanin and Sankalp. So I would invite the panelists on the dais and give their introduction. Yeah. We will start with quick round of introductions. Maybe Sumit, if you can just brief the audience about.
Hello. So hi, my name is Sumit. I'm a chartered accountant, and uh, I was born and brought up in consulting world. So I was previously with Ernst& Young for 17 odd years, and then I was senior director there. Then I started this my own venture along with my two other friends, Entrico, more of a strategic consulting, all those things. Hi.
My own. Hi, I am Gyanendra. I'm the co-founder at Bado, and we work very closely with the brands, retailers, and distributors to bring efficiency. And my journey with Bado began uh, from the grounds, where I spent almost 200 days in the ground working closely with the FMCG, grocery, kirana, general stores and distributors, trying to understand the inefficiencies. And prior to that, I worked with the company named Field Assist, which helps in Salesforce automation, DMS, supply chain management automation, and worked with more than 200 plus brands. And today at Bado, we are building a tech platform, which is a B2B marketplace, where we have a mobile application for retailers and a mobile application for distributor, which connects them with each other, and the brands also get access to this network. And we are trying to help here these retailers directly place orders, discover the brands, nearby local distributors to place direct orders. And so today we have more than 50 lakh retailers who have downloaded our app, and more than 5 lakh retailers who are active onto the platform on monthly basis. And there are more than 10,000 distributors who are actively working, and for more than 1000 plus brands, and we are clocking a GTV of around 100 CR on the platform month on month. And so this is what we are doing with Bado. and I am really excited for today's this panel discussion and look forward to it. Thank you.
Hi, good evening everyone. So thanks a lot for inviting us. So I am here representing MAssist CRM. So we do the sales and distribution automation, and we do the entire GTM automation for FMCG companies, for all kind of CPG brands, with again, as Gyanendra has told you, is with the entire unified connected ecosystem of a SFA, DMS, retailer application, but primarily we do only via brands. So we do things from a perspective of the brands themselves, and that's the automation and AI automation that we are doing.
So to set the ball rolling, we have seen multiple disruptions, especially in the CPG space, the quick com, the AI, and also the D2C. These are the three disruptions. So if a legacy company or any D2C company also who is into the FMCG space has to be future ready, let's understand what does it mean when we say it has to be future ready in terms of financials, in terms of technology. So for our audience, let's deliberate on some time on this. What does it mean we have to be future ready?
So I think my take on his topic is, over the years the marketing and business has evolved significantly. Now from retail stores to malls to e-commerce to D2C. Earlier, we were having the customers at a particular place, but now the business can target the rural consumer as well as the main city consumers, as well as upcountry consumers. You have the reach, it's the strategy and the data points you have, and then accordingly you can plan your business with the data inputs whatever you have. So if you have better inputs, I've seen a lot of business where with the help of good data points, good analysis and research, you can reach out to the customers where you never believed. So, and you can target those customers with the, I think, good distribution channel. Now with the D2C, you can target even those customers which are beyond imagination at times. So this is, I think, over the years, the distribution and the platform is changed significantly.
So I think from my perspective, it works at multiple different levels. One is channel distribution.
Just turn on the mic.
So I think one, it works on different perspective. One is the channel distribution. So as he has mentioned, there can be multiple channels these days. The standard B2B GT or the MT is standard, whereas D2C has now disrupting the things, and with the quick commerce coming in, so a lot of things are quickly changing. So it's about to how many channels am I able to present from my FMCG perspective. And the second is from a future ready perspective, it's about how can I have the visibility to the data endpoints and to all my different stakeholders. How can I have the supply chain and the inventory and the sales visibility, and how do I bring a connected ecosystem without investing too much into the manpower, and how can I bring a more structure into my operations in bringing those data points into a use case specifically.
So I totally resonate with Sankar here, and when we say future ready, FMCG future ready, so to me it's for any FMCG brand, it has to be digitally enabled. That's how I see it, and for any FMCG brand, the channel distribution is critical. Like today, we are seeing the channels are growing. What we have seen in last, the way it has been happening, the first thing was the traditional way, which is our general trade, and then the organized way of doing general trade, then modern trade came, then e-commerce, and today now we are also seeing the quick commerce. And quick commerce is absolutely the way it is growing. And when we see general trade, it is still operating the way it has been operating from last. I mean, the way it was in 2000s or 10 years back or 20 years back. So that's how. That's where I really feel that though in last couple of years we have seen a lot of digital enablement. Like I remember when I passed out of my college in 2016 and I joined this company, Field Assist, and so the getting into FMCG industry and this digital, being an engineer, was totally accidental for me. That time when I used to talk with brands, they didn't even have the visibility that how many stores their sales team is covering, what they are visiting, where are they going, what SKUs are placed on a particular, what's their width of the distribution, what's their numeric distribution. They were not having this idea, and I think in last couple of years I have seen that now FMCG brands have they have digitally enabled their field force and their entire supply chain. But when it comes to channel distribution for any FMCG company to be future ready, we still see a lot of inefficiencies and challenges. Even if a company wants to expand to a newer area, newer territory, the playbook which we follow, hiring an ASM, then the field guys, which almost cost hiring an ASM almost 40,000-50,000 rupees, then 20,000 feet on street guys who will go in the market and visit retailers and distributor to appoint them for the brand, which takes a lot of time. That's where I see that I spoke to so many decision and these company stakeholders. The kind of story I hear that whenever they are going for a expansion, they face a lot of challenges getting onboarded the distributors, and which takes months. So again, the inefficiency is because the brand, we are unable to identify those distributors who are really interested in the category or in the product or the brand, right? So I see a lot of inefficiencies there. And when it comes to a connect with the retailers, showing the products, so that's where in the general trade I see that at the scale it works, almost 85% of the business is still happening through general trade. Though I understand the quick commerce is growing, but the consumer behavior which we see in tier 3, tier 2 cities, or even in such areas, they are still buying from the local grocery general kirana stores. And the brands, the FMCG brand has to be future ready to enable this general trade channel, where like at Bado, what we are doing, we help the brands in identifying the right distributors for them. The process which take almost 3-4 months, they can onboard a distributor within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and similarly they can very easily showcase it to their brand, their products to the retailers who are interested in buying such products. And apart from that, the general trade and this FMCG, it really works on trade marketing schemes. Every brand keeps almost to earn the loyalty of these retailers and distributors. However, when we go to the market, we talk to these retailer distributors, they really have the ideas about such schemes, trade marketing schemes the brands are running. So the attribution of such schemes are very low. That's why I see that enabling them digitally is critical. And I think innovation, technology is something for which the FMCG brand has to adopt, and they become future ready. So that's how I see that enabling it and digitally enabling the entire channel distribution is really crucial here.
So just picking from what Gyan you mentioned, the traditional way of working has been the trade schemes, means
Right.
give a discount, push the material, and some sales will happen. That has been how the FMCG has been operating. But with digital data coming in, and people know there is a limit to how much discount I can give. If I give a discount today, tomorrow the competition also gives. So the evolution has been on how we can use the data to see what customer prefers. Because after a stage, customer does not want the cheapest material. He wants what is best for him, what he likes.
Right.
But for CPG, I see the it is a galaxy. If I talk about how many retail points do we have, is it possible to collect the data of more than so if India, I talk about a population of more than 150 CR, how many retail points, and then the SKUs of a CPG. Typically, a CPG company would minimum have 10,000, 15,000 SKUs. So the combination and the data, it brings a galaxy of data for us. So how is that being handled? Maybe we can throw some light on that. Typically, how many retailers?
Right. So that's a very valid point. A retailer, if we go to any grocery kirana store, what we will see there that they keep more than 300 plus brands, and when it comes to SKUs, there are thousands of SKUs they are keeping, and every day we are seeing that newer brands are coming, new SKUs are coming. So for a retailer, again, it gets challenging what sort of products they should keep on their shelves, what sort of SKU assortment they should keep. So the education of these retailers are also very crucial here. So how do we empower and educate these retailers to become more smarter, though today they know that what consumers are asking, accordingly they procure the products and brands, and that is totally on the basis of the kind of consumer marketing the brands are doing, ATLs they are doing. However, when it comes to a retailer, it is very important that we educate them with the right product, the kind of offering that product has, so that the retailer also become the advocate or evangelist for that particular brand or product. And nowadays, today as a consumer, when I come on any quick commerce or e-commerce platform, I have so many options. I can discover the kind of product I want. However, when it comes to at a retailer point, the retailer, I will not find newer products. They are mostly still they are keeping those products they have been keeping regularly. So that's why educating these retailers become very imperative about the newer products, newer brand they should keep, and educating them about the margins, what they will earn on those SKUs. So that's where it is very important.
Understood. And the retailer should have that confidence in terms of this will sell it in
Right.
Correct.
So multi-channel aspect has been there. Moving ahead, so we talked about the customer and the market shifts also. The pattern has been shifting, say from one particular snacks to healthier snacks, or more towards, we were talking about Patanjali in the morning also. So how do we bring those insights to the retail point, to the customers? What has been the shift? What is the trend?
So, first of all, what we need to understand, if you're talking from a brand perspective. So, as a brand these days, any average company doing 100 CR of a business, they are using solutions. At least they do have the primary data with them through IARP. Majority of them have some of the other tools in terms of the SAP, and they do have the visibility of the secondary data also. The problem is of two folds. One is what we talked about, the retailers and all. Are they really leveraging that data to make that decisions which are actually impacting and which can have an impact? So, to example with, suppose what Gyanendra told about, they wanted to just run a scheme. They wanted to have an increase in sales, they want to run a scheme. But how much of that scheme value will really want to impact? And how much if they're coming up with a new category, suppose a healthy snack category. So how much of the new healthy snack category is actually they are able to take up a market, and wo kis position mein hai to actually use that, how to leverage that data. So to do that from a technology standpoint, there are two parts to it. There are some very amazing how they permeate that specific information to the last mile workforce so that they are equally trained, efficiently trained, and are able to give this knowledge transfer to the concerned stakeholders or to the retailers and all. That is one. Obviously, then there is a direct information transfer that can happen directly to the retailers. Third is when they are formulating the policies. So in formulation of those policies, how they can leverage the data and make better decisions, whether this information or this specific scheme or this specific policy decision will actually going to have an impact or not, and how to analyze it compared to the other previous trends and all. So that is here the multiple different ways it can actually help.
So I think I would like to add in this, for example, shifting about the consumer preferences. Just to take the example of Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola, earlier it was known for, higher sugar and higher calories business. So now the company is totally shifting their focus towards the, more juices and other product also, because they know that, a lot of people in India are, health conscious and they want to avoid the sugar consumption. And if you read the articles recently, their leadership articles, they just want to leverage the existing distribution channel, and they just want to add their more categories in the business which are more healthy products. So I think that is the how business use the analytics, business use the existing networks, and you can grow your other service lines also, business lines, product lines, channelizing your existing distribution channels and all other stuff.
So just to add one point to it, and it's a very very valid point. So from aerated drinks, they moved to juices.
Yes.
And just now I've been hearing a large FMCG company. I was talking to one of the MD. They say recently a new company has come up in the block which does the coconut water, and it has actually impacted the juices business like anything. So that's the kind of shift we are seeing in terms of the consumer patterns, and how quickly you are able to see the impact of it, that can only happen through data, and how quickly you are able to react, that can also happen through data. So that is where the data plays a very important role.
And I think you have a lot of competition also while you are launching the product. For example, Reliance has launched their products at a very competitive prices, at a 40% of their what the price is being Coca-Cola or Pepsi is selling. So there's a lot of competition from the other players. So you need to strategize your brand positioning and your channels, your cost, everything has to be considered properly so that you can take proper decision as a leadership, as a the brand masters. I think that is really very, very important for you.
I think what Sumit you brought is a very relevant point. So there is a cost to launching a product. There is a cost to selling a product in a channel. So ultimately, what a company runs is for the profits, but there are costs involved also. And we have seen in the past the cash burn has been a norm.
Yes.
Means companies say from Amazon, there is everybody in the college is taught it took 10 years to break even, but then once you build a consumer base, you scale. So Reliance has been following a similar trend. But for smaller companies, how important it is to balance that tight walk? How much of the cash burn is practically possible? Or when the winter comes, the funding does not flow, or the challenges, and how can data or what kind of modeling can be done on that aspect?
I think market study and product positioning would play a very important role. For example, if a startup, if you're going for a funding, then you should have a proper data with you to have a proper funding and proper valuation of the business. If you have a good data points, you can convince the investor, then you can get the more better valuation. On the other side, the investor will definitely see your negative side. They will definitely negotiate with you at a lower price. So data points will play a very, very crucial points where you can put your data points in such a manner so that your valuation, your funding will be at a very good price if you have better data positioning, data points. On the other side, investor will definitely want some discount, so they will create some those data points which are against you. For example, you are not present in that particular market, that particular consumer are not picking your product, or all those stuff. So I think channelizing the data and using that data for your purpose is really very, very important as a business, I would see.
Right. So I think in initial stage, deciding the right channel for your marketing or for your distribution is very important. So as we know, any marketing or distribution comes at a cost. Even today, I talk to a lot of brands, FMCG brands, who are just starting up, and they are very scared to go into general trade because they know it takes a lot of money and time as well. However, I mean, not only just general trade, even getting into quick commerce is also very expensive. Even Zepto, they are charging 2-3 lakh rupees just to list one SKU. They are asking for this hefty amount, and they are not even giving any numbers on the conversions. It's very scary, to be honest, when it comes to initially for the distribution. I've seen journey of several brand growing just from very small team to big team. There was a customer I worked with into masala category. They built a team of around almost 300 sales guys, burned almost around 30-40 CR into setting up general trade, and without even understanding the complexity of the general trade and the market. So that's where the data, as my colleague was highlighting, data plays a really important role to understand about where your product will work, what sort of distribution channel will work for you, and at the same time the kind of ROI that distribution channel can give. So while working with these brands, I saw it a lot. I've seen brands putting a lot of money to set up their general trade, and that's where we also, when we were building Bado, that was the core idea, core focus. How do we help these brands do their channel marketing or channel distribution without putting a lot of money? How they can test, how they can identify right retailers for their product. So identifying the right channel for your product, and where in terms of ROI is very important here.
I think ROI still remains the
Correct.
Key.
So, just like to add one point to it. Cash burn is not a problem. It's about because anyhow when you are starting something new, you have to spend it. That's perfectly fine. Obviously, choosing right channels and everything. What is more important is micromanaging that cash spend is very important. When you are spending onto something, there is a certain vision with which you are doing it. Whether it's on channel, it's on trade, it's on people, it's everything. So, but doing things where that spend is actually giving you the desired results. It could be a zone, it could be a small city, it could be a specific category, it could be a certain channel, it could be a certain set of retailers, it could be anything. And doing that micromanaging where it is doing and performing and where it is not. And doing smaller sampling experimentation into it, and then seeing the result and accordingly amplifying it over the larger piece of it. That's the only way today we have seen many such examples. We have worked with many such companies, those who are heavily funded, decently funded. I'd like to give a name also, companies like Good Glam Group and all, they are our clients. But what I really wonder, and because if you see the progress and growth, how they're spending things and all, I think everybody in the trade knows that which way they are going. And it is inevitable that at some point in time, they're gonna lose and all the cash and they're gonna go belly up. But still, nobody is taking a call. So what I would say, a lot of times this happens when people are ignorant of the fact that this is going this way, and they are still going blindly in certain way.
I think there should be a clear light, means if even for short term there is a burn, but how are we going to come out of that? that is very important for a company to sustain or be future ready. So I think we had a discussion about various opportunities, means the infrastructure which has developed with multiple channels. How is it possible to launch businesses now? Technology is there, as well as we discussed about the funding is there. But what does it take in terms of leadership? Uh, how do we see the role of leadership into shaping that the companies don't not only survive but thrive and grow? So how critical is that? What has been the experience of, on that front? Maybe we can throw some light on that.
I would say breaking the silo is very important. I mean, any leadership as a leader, you should more focus bringing all, departments, be it your supply side, your marketing, or your other departments, to bring them, together with the digital, enabling them with digital tools which bring more efficiency. And so bringing them closure, ultimately that data will help, like marketing, to take when they are taking any decision, how this will impact the supply side, or how it will impact the execution side. So that's where it is very crucial. And also as a leader, we should enable the team. They should leverage right tools which brings more efficiency. And not just only they should use AI in their day-to-day work, or the kind of challenges they face. So I think this is what required from the leadership, I feel, to bring them on the same page and working together in much more collaborative way, which also makes things faster for every one of them. So I think that is important here.
So from a leadership standpoint, for such thing, I just like to put it in three different domains. One is how quickly they are able to assess the trends. Seeing the patterns through trends is, I think, every leader is navigating through these, even the legacy companies or even the newer startups. One. Second is informed decision making, because whatever decisions you are taking, one is obviously intuition and perception, but somewhat you need to be able to see some data points into it, and then you will be able to take an informed decision making. And third is how quickly you are able to adapt. So a lot of times, a lot of good leaders, they are in so much love with their own ideas, they just don't see the trends and they just fall through. So you have to adapt, and that's what they say. Ki startups are quick to adapt, quick to learn, but even the legacy companies these days. So I think it depends upon individual to individual. There are individuals, those who are very quickly are able to adapt and learn and change tracks, which is very helpful.
So my take is on leadership part is that the people those charged with governance are really important, that they empower the people and they use the data in right manner, because they need to take decisions for the growth of the business, for the growth of their people, for the growth of each and every segment of the company. I think people, I've seen a lot of leaders, they do a lot of benchmarking, they do a lot of research on data. For example, if you talk about any say FMCG company, they benchmark their results, their performance with other competitors in such a way on each and every part, each and every point, that how they are performing with other competitors, with other players, and then accordingly where there is an opportunity, they take the decisions. And I think they empower the people, and they provide the data points also, that see, in that particular market, that particular player is doing really great, and we have the distribution channel, then even we are not able to do it, then something is missing in that part. So I think the leadership is something who collate the data, who take the decision in rightful manner with the right team and right kind of stuff.
I think, yeah.
And the empowering
Yes.
the people, right?
Yeah. So picking from what you said, uh, one is for an organization, it is important that all the functions are aligned to a common vision. That is very important. And then adding, supporting it with the data and quick decision making. And not only so, if you keep the decision making central, obviously there at time there will be a bottleneck. So empowering of people is also very important. So these were the points. Quickly moving ahead. If yeah, so we'll just, if a FMCG company, how do they look forward to sustain or thrive? Say 2 years, 5 years down the line, they have to continue the business. What is the key things which they should focus on? Uh, then we can open the house for the questions. Any thoughts on that?
I think my take is really simple. And for example, one has to see that what is overall market. For example, if you talk about the example of, we are taking the example of Coke. In India, the per capita consumption is 15, wherein the Mexico is, it's more than 500, and US it's more than 400. If you talk about the healthcare products, so the per capita is 4, whereas in Japan it is 8, more than 80. So there is a huge market in India. One has to make a vision and then has to act accordingly with the proper strategy, with the proper plan, and then they need to create the people, the overall channel, and with the vision. I think India is a great market for the FMCG companies, huge opportunity, huge overall field, open field. I think the strategy can make you a winner.
And as we are seeing that consumer needs are evolving, and it is very important for any brand, any FMCG brand down the line in next 2-3 year or 4 year, they should understand the consumer needs and come up with such products which meets the need of the consumers, and at the same time making them available for the consumers to buy at the right points. That is very important. And building such strong with the help of data, AI distribution channels, which help them not just only sustain, also thrive for coming years. And the brand should also evolve themselves using technology innovations which are coming. So I think that would make them more relevant and thrive in coming years.
Right.
So, to be honest, I personally feel 3-4 years is too long a horizon these days for any company to feel and see that they'll be able to sustain all the things. So obviously there is a long-term strategy, but to achieve that long-term strategy, it is very important to understand what is their moat. It could be sales and distribution, it could be innovation, it could be something else. So whatever their moat is, how to strategize and stabilize that moat, and then leap on to the other areas where they are lacking. So, and still, as I told you, it's too long a period, and they have to continuously adapt. They cannot be complacent at any point in time in today's scenario.
Right. So now we are open to the questions from the audience. Any questions?
But is the companies right now are investing heavily on their own retailer apps? Given that eventually, as per Gyanendra also, I mean, a lot of aggregator apps will come in, but increasingly the companies are heavily strategized on having their own retailer apps, investing huge amount of money into it. Retailer eventually will not be using all those apps because having 20-30 apps on their phone as compared to probably ordering from a jumbo tail or an aggregator app Why do you think the company have this strategy to invest parallelly into their own applications and also be listed on aggregated apps or B2B apps? What do you think is the moot point there?
So I think for any company to build their own retailer app, for that I think they should have a good share of basket at a retailer point. Let's say if today we have seen retailer app for Unilevers and which is Shikhar, then Unnati, ITC, then Coca-Cola, Coke Buddy. As we know, for any retailer, almost these all the brands they have, it accounts for almost 40-50% of the basket for a retailer. And I see that the retailer app really makes sense for such companies who already have a good share of shelf. However, if we see a retailer is keeping 200, 300 plus brands, it is not possible for a retailer to keep so many apps in their phone, right? So that's why these single app, multi-brand app, where a retailer can buy across all brands, all sort of category, makes a lot of sense. And also for any FMCG brands, I think their major focus and core focus, what I have seen is mostly building the brand, better marketing for their brand, right? Rather focusing in the tech side, I feel they should let it be with the tech companies or tech people who are innovating, and they can keep on focusing more on building their brand and their marketing. So coming to your question, I think for such brands who already have a good share in the shop, it makes sense. Otherwise, a retailer won't be, the adoption becomes really challenging. Even adoption for Shikhar or such application is Unilever, hardly it is what I have heard with the discussion when I was having with their leadership team, who is heading Shikhar and those apps, is around 10 to 15% only. That's what they say. And the reason is simple, that for retailer to having multiple application, the adoption automatically becomes lower. A single app will really help a retailer to create their entire basket and buy across all sort of brands, all sort of categories. Yeah.
So just one point.
Just one point to that. I mean, the exact thing that I wanted to ask was that learning from the HUL's example, when a giant like HUL could not succeed that much with the retailer app,
Yeah.
what confidence does company like say Imami gets to launch or invest heavily into their own application, while the giant like HUL had not really made embarks there? So a lot of even a TOB company are also investing heavily on developing their own retailer app. If all of us feel that eventually the retailer will not be using so many apps, what's the point of investing so much into that as a strategy?
So to add to it, one point I think Gyanendra also already answered. They have a fear of missing out. So because Unilever is doing it, and I feel I'm equally to Unilever, so they feel it's good for the brand building exercise. That's one. The other is retailer app actually makes sense for specifically for those level of category or the SKUs which has a pull towards it, which are not the push brands. So, but even for the pull brands, the whole idea from a leadership perspective is to bring in some sort of loyalty towards their brand. Though it is a myth still, and it is, to be very honest, never been very successful, because they all have this fear, be it quick commerce or be it aggregators. There you are giving too much power in the hands of one aggregator. So how that aggregator will treat you in the future, how much they're gonna give you the importance. So you're gonna give the power to them, and then you're not gonna have the power to push your brands wherever it is required. But still, you're right, I don't think it is very successful yet, and there is no very successful example as such, unless there is some sort of a decent aggregation or decent level of basket size.
And I think I add to that, the major pieces why these companies are thinking to build such mobile apps to have more control. And we also have seen mobile app of Lenskart की भी mobile app है एक. I mean, we don't buy IVRs regularly or day to day, but they still have a mobile application. The reason is if anybody is downloading their app, the main control you get is to nudge the consumer or a retailer. I think that's the control these brands want, so that they can keep on nudging with the help of, because through digital mediums, digital tool, this notification play really important role to nudge for the visibility, for the awareness. Maybe because of which, however, I don't see a very good adoption having the own app. I haven't seen I have seen so many companies building their own app. In fact, I have also built mobile app for them in my previous organization. But even if you build it, getting it adopted, getting it implemented, I mean, through your, then what brand starts doing, the entire strategy changes to this tech adoption. They involve all their sales team कि भाई जा करके ये ऐप को इंस्टॉल कराओ दुकानदारों पे, तो उनका फोकस पूरा शिफ्ट होता है. एंड अल्टीमेटली so these brands have learned, and I think the brands who are thinking to build their own app, they should discuss with such brands who have already done and failed even if you build a mobile application, getting it implemented and adopted is a challenge. I remember it used to be a big challenge. That's why at Bado, when any brand partner with us, there is the complete support to the retailer, or the complete training them how to use a mobile application, how to place order. The complete support is taken care by us. So brand need not to give any support from their side. We'll just help them generating orders from retailer. All they need to do is just keep their distributor aligned to service those orders which we are generating. Because in our case, we don't hold any inventory, rather we empower the existing distributor of a brand. So that's the kind of support we provide. And I have seen in my journey company का पूरा focus change हो जाता है when even for SFA implementation also or DMS implementation also, sales से पूरा ध्यान हटके इसी में ही चला जाता है. And that's why aggregated app or platform like ours really help the brand to have a digital presence across the retailers. It's very easy today with the help of Bado as a brand. You can very easily showcase your product to 15 lakh retailers. And even like I was discussing with you also today, even there is a city, if I take the city like Kanpur, which has a potential of around 15,000 retailers, both including urban and rural, it is not feasible for a company, a single person handling 200, 300 odd retailers. They would require at least 25 to 30 sales guys to cover the entire Kanpur. So that's how the digital tools bring more efficiency into the channel distribution, where your salesperson is also working. Now earlier when he was handling 200, 300 retailers, with the help of a digital tool, he is able to cover more number of retailers to bring more efficiency. Even if you are not making any visits to retailers, they can still place order. And as in the previous panel discussion, I think you were highlighting about the absenteeism and the attrition which we see. Almost 20% of the sales guys are absent, or 10% के करीब attrition रहता है. पूरी की पूरी beat पर visit ही नहीं हो पाती है, because of which, so the complete sale generation for that particular day is gone. So that's where there is a digital tool which is there with the retailer. If retailers are not, these sales guys are not making physical check-ins or collecting order, they have a tool through which they can place order to the local existing distributor only 24/7 as per their convenience time. So that's why, so I think for any brand building their own app, I'm not sure it would make much sense, because the entire focus shifts to these technology adoption.
So with this, we come to the end of our panel discussion. I think it was really insightful discussion. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gyan. Thank you, Sankalp.
Thank you.
Just
Hello. So, thanks everybody for coming, and on behalf of Curate Data Analytics and our support partner Microsoft and Eddington, I would like to thank you for coming and listening patiently, and I hope this session would be useful for all of us. Thank you. Thanks for coming.